What do you do? Who would even hire me? Something that I kind of regret because you are such a baby. How are you supposed to do that? Yes, I love everything about myself. Girl, we're doing pretty well without getting married. Maybe I need therapy. It's cringe until it works. Like, why would anybody watch that? You're a diva. Hi, YouTube. Welcome to my channel. So we somehow hit 60K followers on Instagram. This is crazy. Thank you. Since there are so many new people on my Instagram page, I asked if there is anything that you would like to know about me. I got so many questions. And a lot of you asked corporate life, dating, soul life, and positivity. So I grouped them into categories and I just wanted to sit down and chat and let's just catch up. All right, I wrote all your questions down on my laptop and let's start with chapter 1. Get to know me. First question, what do you do? I'm a corporate girl in Seoul. I'm in my 30s. Actually, I started this new corporate job just about a month ago. So I'm pretty new there. To give you a brief history, I started my career in a media communications agency. I worked there for about 2 years. I was grinding. I barely got any sleep. I was working late. I was super burnt out from working so much. After working about 2 years over there, I decided that this is not a sustainable lifestyle and I was becoming a person that I did not like. It really made me negative and complain about everything, and I thought this was changing me into a whole different person. So I got a new job to work in-house at a multinational energy company and I stayed there for about 6 years. You know, 6 years is a pretty long time. Working there was great. I mean, life was great. I would get off work before 6. I got to go to the gym. I got to work on my hobbies. I got to meet my friends and family. After repeating that for about 4 or 5 years, I felt like everything was the same. I felt I haven't grown a lot in my career development. And I think I was getting burnt out as well in a way. You can get burnt out from being overworked, but you can get also burnt out from not feeling any growth. And I felt stuck. And you can't really expect your life to change if you are at the same place. So I looked for other jobs and I applied for more than 50 job applications. And I was really doubtful that I wouldn't be able to get a job because I was thinking like, who would even hire me? But thankfully, I got a new job and I started working there. I work as a strategic communications manager, especially for social media. Second question, what was college like for you? Internships, how did you get to where you are now? Well, okay, college. That was a long time ago. So let's see, thinking back, I went to Yonsei University. I majored in Asian studies. I didn't really put that much thought into choosing a major because I just knew that I would work a corporate job and I knew that a major wouldn't really matter. Looking back, that's something that I kind of regret because I wish I had explored or discovered my interests more before making such a big decision. Sometimes I even think like, what if I had chosen something in science? I think I'd be good at it. Yeah. And university life in Korea was different from what I expected. Everybody studied so hard. Even getting good grades was really difficult because there was a cap in how many people can get A's. But I did try my best and I did get a scholarship for 1 semester. Yeah, your girl is smart. I worked as a part-time English teacher for like summer camps for kids. I think that was the first time I kind of realized that I'm pretty good at expressing myself and communicating with people. And I also interned at a small film production company as a research assistant. But one thing that I regret is not giving myself the time to really explore what I like or travel during my summer break. I was always thinking that I should be doing something to build a career. But now that I'm older, I don't think you need to be anxious about starting a career at an early age because you are going to be grinding your whole life anyway. But if you already know what interests you, definitely, yes, you can go work at that field. But if you have no idea what you like I did, I think your time is probably better spent exploring what kind of things you like and exploring as many things as possible. Younger me was basically following the formula. Go to college, get good grades, get a job, but I didn't really think to myself, what do I like? If I could go back, I would give myself some time. All right. Chapter 2, corporate girl life. What do you think is the perfect work personal life balance when doing a 9 to 6? This is a very good question. This might be an unpopular opinion, but honestly, I don't think there's a perfect work-life balance because it's so situational. And I think a lot of it comes with your mentality. Like, let's say you get off work at 5, but you're stressed and anxious and thinking about work after clocking out. You're not technically working there anymore, but would you say that is a good work-life balance? But on the other hand, let's say maybe you get off work at 8 or 9, but once you're done, you work out, you take care of yourself, you sleep well, and you're mentally completely disconnected. Would you say that's automatically worse or better? I'm not saying working until 9 is healthy. I mean, I would love to get off early all the time. But my point is, the time you get off does not tell the whole story. Like at my previous job, I had so much free time, but I was constantly thinking and stressing about the workplace because I wasn't happy where I was. But now with my new job, I do work longer hours, but weirdly, I feel less anxious and I'm so much more intentional with the free time that I have. So for me, the biggest thing for me was decentering work from my identity. Yes, I'm a corporate girl, but I am so much more than a corporate girl. That's just one part of me. I work out, I make content, I see my friends, I spend time with my family. I have things that I'm building outside of my job. That helps me really decenter my focus and have something to look forward to. If work is the only thing that you're focusing on, every good or bad thing that happens at work becomes a good or bad thing that happens to you. Yeah, I don't think there's a perfect balance to 9 to 6. It really has to do with how you see things and how you manage your time efficiently. All right, next question. Big sis advice for the 23-year-old corporate babies. Oh, baby girl, I got you. Girl, first of all, you are so young. I look back at myself when I was 23 and I'm thinking, girl, you are such a baby. You don't really know what you want yet at 23. I didn't even know what I wanted when I was 23. You just graduated, you jumped into a corporate job because you need to make money, and suddenly you're expected to know what you're doing at the job. Honestly, I have so much respect for you to start a job at such a young age because I did that too, and I'm actually proud of myself for doing that. I think one of the biggest secrets that corporate loves to make everything feel like an emergency. Like even the tiniest thing, we need this ASAP. Oh, there's somebody coming in. We need to prepare this right now. Do you have the deck? There's this person calling me. What do I do? What do I say to them? Oh, I need to make the sales pitch. Blah blah blah. And everything is such an emergency in corporate. But when you're young and starting new, you also absorb all that energy. Everybody's like urgent and panicking, so you also panic. You get that adrenaline and your heart also starts pacing too. I would feel that way as well, you know, but now I try to zoom out and I imagine there's a camera looking at me in a bird's eye view. And I ask myself, do I want this energy to reflect on me? Urgent, anxious, panicky energy to be mine? If something needs to be done ASAP, fine. I'll do it quickly and I'll try my best to do it on time. But that doesn't mean that I have to take everybody's panic, my panic. I don't want to take in their stress and anxiety while I'm doing my work. And when it's done, be proud of yourself because you're 23. You don't even know how to cook pasta yet. And you're expected to make a pitch deck for a brand, how to make more money? How are you supposed to do that? It's natural that you're learning. The fact that you get up every single day to get to your corporate job means that you are already a hard worker. Don't get these corporate suckers get to you. Moving on to chapter 3. This person asked me, do you feel more confident in your 30s? With a heart. Oh my god, this is something that I think about a lot nowadays because now that I'm in my 30s, I look back at the things that I used to be so insecure about. I was so insecure about the smallest things ever. For example, my hair is naturally very wavy and curly, but I was so insecure about my hair being so frizzy and like all poofy. So I would get my hair straightened, chemically straightened for like my whole life. But now I grew it out. I grew my curly hair out. I let my hair be my hair. The other smallest insecurity that I used to have is I didn't like how big my how big my knuckles were. Like, they look so chunky. Like, I don't even care. Like, you know, those really tiny small things that only you would know. And I would scrutinize people's faces to see and know what they're thinking about, because I wanted to figure out what they were thinking about me. And if they liked me, I would think, do they like me? Did I say something weird? Why did that person just frown? But now I just don't give a I don't give a anymore. But with people, yes, I do still care about what people think about me, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because if someone has a good impression of me, that's great. We're social beings. Relationships matter, and a good relationship could lead to more opportunities and more possibilities that you can explore through that person. But the difference is, it's not the focus of my attention anymore. I don't need anybody to like me in order for me to like me more. Because realistically, I'm probably not everybody's cup of tea. Like how everybody would not be my cup of tea. So if we don't click, that's okay. We weren't probably going to click naturally anyway. And so I don't need to chase them down and be like, why don't you like me? And ask for their affirmation. I am more confident in my 30s. That doesn't mean, yes, I love everything about myself. I don't care what everybody thinks of me. Do whatever you want. I'm not saying that. It's more like, this is who I am. Some people will like me. Some people will not. And that's okay. Yeah. And in my 20s, it was more, do they like me? But now in my 30s, it's more, do we like each other? So don't be afraid of being 30 or turning 30. Next question. Do you feel lonely at this age? Somehow I feel harder to find friends who can be bestie. You know what? I was actually more lonely when I was in my 20s. Back then, I wanted to be popular. I wanted to have so many friends, and I wanted to be part of a group. When I couldn't find people that I really clicked with, I was thinking, what's wrong with me? Where do I belong? And that actually made me feel really lonely. But now my friend group is so much smaller than it was in my 20s. Strangely enough, I don't feel as lonely because I realized that friendships can fade out. We grow up, we develop our likes and dislikes. You and your friends go in different directions. And that's totally fine. And that doesn't really mean that something really went wrong in your friendships. You were walking and you just found different paths. I've also become more comfortable with being just by myself, because being alone can be scary at first. But once you get comfortable with it, you actually become so good at it that you become your own best company. You yourself become your bestie. You know what I mean? I eat alone, I travel alone, I go to the movies alone. I have a great time because I'm my best company. And you know, if there's a friend with me, great. And on side note, this might sound funny, but honestly, sometimes I felt more lonely when I was dating someone. Because when I'm single, I'm responsible for my own happiness. But once you're in a relationship, you expect to be happy together. So you think happiness will come from that person. But when it starts to not, you kind of feel like you're being left alone. But anyways, that's a whole different story. Chapter 4, dating. Continuation of the previous question. This person asked, how's the dating scene in Seoul? All my friends there seem to be getting married. Girl, everyone's getting married and having kids. The societal pressure here is insane. I feel it. My parents feel it. I have 4 friends that have more than 1 kid. Isn't that crazy? Like, my friend group is changing. And dating life in Korea, kind of interesting because a lot of people go on blind dates to find a partner. Blind dates in Korea are called 소개팅. I've been on many sogetings, but to be honest, sogeting here feels like going to a job interview, because you go there and you're assessing the other person to see if you are a good potential match or partner for you. Where did this person go to school? What did they study? What kind of job do they have? What kind of family do they come from? How much money do they make? So you're kind of calculating all these things and you can see that happening. I don't know, it kind of feels really unnatural for me, and it's hard because it's like you don't even know each other and you're just there and trying to see if this person could be your boyfriend or your girlfriend. But I know a few friends that met through sogetings and got married, and you know, I'm 31, so I should probably think of getting married. I mean, a few months ago, I was really like on the edge of being like, oh my gosh, all my friends are getting married, all my friends are having babies, and I should probably meet somebody and settle down and get married. But nowadays, I started asking myself that question, if marriage as an institution fits the life that I want. Because I've become really comfortable with living my own life. And if I'm going to build a life with somebody, I want that relationship to genuinely add something to the life that I already enjoy. And honestly, I sometimes look at women and I'm like, we're doing pretty well without getting married. So we're pretty okay girls. But I'm not anti-marriage. I'm not saying I'll never get married. I'm questioning whether a marriage should automatically be something that we simply have to do because we are women in their 30s. And chapter 5. This is related to content creation. What inspired you to do to 9 to 5 day in the life series? This actually is a question that I get asked a lot. So I did a little bit of self-reflection. After years of spending my energy and working in corporate, I was sick. I was sick of just being a corporate girl. So one day I just took out my phone at work and I just started filming myself. I completely winged the editing. I did not take any courses and started posting. The 9 to 5 series wasn't really a master plan either. If you scroll far enough on my Instagram page, my content is all over the place. Like, I did not have a system. I was testing different hooks. I was testing different formats. I was experimenting, and one thing worked. I thought, oh, people like seeing this. Something happened after I started creating. People around me said that I became more sparkly. I think that's because I saw a part of myself growing. So it's important to do something outside of your corporate job, especially for girls, because you need to have something, at least one thing that is not your job. It was content creation for me, but it doesn't have to be content creation. It could be running, it could be volunteering, it could be reading, building a business, it could be spending time with your family, because you need something that reminds you that you're capable of growing outside of a job. So that leads to a different question. May you share how you grew so fast? Congrats on the wins. Thank you. I honestly think this has to be a separate video because I have so much to say about this. The biggest thing that I learned, people don't know why they should care about you until you tell them who you are. When I first started creating content, I'll make trending reels. I will do cool transitions. But I realized, why would a complete stranger care about someone who is traveling from Seoul to Okinawa with a cool transition video? Like, why would anybody watch that? They don't even know who I am. I started giving context about who I am with my age and where I live. And eventually, I realized that there was something that other people connect with, my positivity. This is Jiho, a 31-year-old positive corporate girl. And I could talk about this forever. So if you need a separate video on this, let me know. Chapter 6. How do you always keep a positive outlook even after repeated failures? Do you want the real answer? Time. Time will heal. I know that's probably the most cliche, generic, basic answer, but it's something that I genuinely believe. I've been rejected by jobs that I really wanted. I've had my heart broken. I've failed at many things. And of course, I get sad, I get upset. But one thing I do is I do not let it consume me. What do I need to do right now to start feeling better? And that sometimes takes 5 minutes, or sometimes it takes a few days, or sometimes it takes a few months. And maybe I need to talk to someone, maybe I need therapy. I've had therapy, and maybe I need to cry, and crying does help. And after a while, eventually, I decide that it's time to move on. And I try to remind myself failure means that you tried. Because it means that you weren't sitting there doing nothing. So you give yourself a pat on the back, dust it off, and try again. I think about it like pulling back the arrow from the bow. Sometimes you have to be pulled backwards before you can move forward. Boom! I wasn't always intentional with my mindset. I used to complain a lot, especially about work. Started noticing that way I was talking was reinforcing my brain to feel that way. And the more I told myself everything sucked, the more my brain started to see everything that sucked. So now I tell myself to stop. Is this thought helping me right now? And I think for me, positivity is knowing that this hurts right now, but it won't be forever. And trusting myself to eventually move forward. I hope that answers your question. I'm like pretty much rambling here. Next question. A lot of people ask me this question. What are your daily affirmations? I would love to start doing it, but I don't know how. It's actually really, really simple. And when I first started, it was kind of cringe, but you know what they say, it's cringe until it works. So I have 2 diaries, one for work and one for personal. So I have my diary here. Notes, just thoughts, just random stuff here. I carry this to work as well. The first thing I write every morning is Happy Monday or Happy Saturday, Happy Tuesday, whatever the day it is, to literally greet the day. Then I will write down how I'm feeling, and I also write what I want to feel for that day. So for example, August 5th, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Happy hump day. I overslept a little this morning and I'm a little bit tired, but everyone needs a bit of leniency, even to myself. Today I will take a rest day after work because I don't want to burn myself out. Then after that, I usually remind myself of 3 things. First, I write, I'm grateful that I am healthy. I treat my body with love, and I'm grateful that my body is good to me. And second, I remind myself that I don't need to have everything figured out. I believe in God's plan for me, but the things I do are actively the decisions I make. And I am open to new possibilities and opportunities that may come my way, because I keep an open heart. And the third is I literally write, I am beautiful, I am smart, I am amazing, because I am that diva. And I got this. Yeah, I really write it here. It sounds silly, but it really genuinely changes the mood and sets the tone for the day. It makes you look forward to how your day will turn out. It makes you really think that you have decided that this is how I want to show up today. To be honest, it's not guaranteed to be amazing all the time. Things still can go wrong. At least you have yourself that will give positive reinforcements to you, and at least you have something to go back to. And it really shifts your brain into thinking that you are that person. If you say out loud or write down, you are awesome, you're amazing, then your brain really thinks that. So I really recommend doing this. We're on our last question. I think this is a good last question. This person asked, at 31, how do you look at life? To start off, I think I used to be really narrow-minded in the sense that I thought my world was exactly what I could see around me. My job, my friends, the things that are happening to me right now. That was my world. But as I gotten older, I realized that I am such a small person in a world that is so much bigger than I can comprehend. Weirdly, that does not make me feel insignificant. It just makes me more excited. It means that there are endless adventures that I haven't gone, places that I haven't been to, opportunities that I haven't had, and so many more nice, fascinating people that I haven't met yet. That really completely changed how I think about comparison. Life isn't a competition because in this story called life, I'm the main character. Not some person on social media, not my friend who earns a 6-figure salary, not Kylie Jenner, me. I'm the main character. And if I'm the main character, who am I competing with? Other people are not my competitors. They are characters throughout my story. Some will stay for a really long time. Some might be there for a second. Some will hurt me. But their story doesn't determine if my story is going well. You know what I mean? Because I get to participate in writing my own story. How exciting is that? I get to be an author. And of course, I don't get to control everything, but I do get to decide what happens in my story and what kind of life I want to keep building. I'm here, present, I'm here to experience it, and I'm a human being. So yeah, I want to experience as much as I can. 10 years from now, I would be 41, which is so weird. Imagine what 41-year-old Jiho would be like. But I bet she's probably going through the same things that I am right now, but just in a different font. So if you're watching this, you got this because you're a diva.